The first topic, how many of you have read NCERTs? सबने पढ़ लिया? क्या समझ में आया? Chapter 1, location and landforms. Next, Chapter 2, the physiography. Right? Chapter 1 is full of facts. There's nothing much I can teach you there, but I can show you and I relate with the current affairs. Chapter 2 is full of physiography. In this, facts are written in the Chapter 2. Very basic facts, याद करना है इसे. Right? You have to remember all of these things. And when you pick up your atlas, you can also write on the atlas itself. ठीक है? जो भी atlas आप open कर रहे हो, उस page के ऊपर आप लिख सकते हो, या or else you can staple a page and write it there. Right? So let's quickly start. First topic that we shall be discussing is physiography. ठीक है? Just a minute. Some basic facts are there. The boundaries of India, how many countries that India has boundary. Just a minute. So first thing. See, some basic facts that I have to tell you. That is India's east-west, north-south extensions. Quickly note down these latitudes. 1. The extension of India is 68 degrees 7 minutes in the west to the 97 minutes 25 degrees in the east. Right? This is the east-west. Whereas north-south 376 to 8 degrees 4 minutes. This is the mainland. ठीक है? This is the mainland. Whereas if you go towards the southernmost point, that is Indira Point. That is 6 degrees 8 minutes or 6 degrees 4 minutes. This is the northernmost point. We call it as Indira Col, and this is called as Indira Point. Right? These are two different places. So broadly, look here. This is Indira Point, 6 degrees and 45 degrees north. Northernmost point of India, Indira Col. What is a col? Col, C-O-L. Col is a landform which is formed because of glacier. ठीक है? Indira Col कहा जाता है, which is a landform in the glacier. Southernmost point is Indira Point. Now where is it present? It is present in the Nicobar Islands. Right? Mainland 8 degrees 4 minutes. So as you already know that in the climatology I have discussed about a concept called from the westernmost point of India to the easternmost point of India, which is also called as the Kibutu, ठीक है, in the east. And west it is Gujarat है, but what is it? Motera. ठीक है? In totality, these are the places that you need to know. But there is a time gap of how many minutes? 1 hour, 52 minutes. So there is a large time gap. If sun is rising here at morning 5 a.m. Okay, I'll do it in a reverse. If the sun rises here at 5 a.m. in the morning, the sun rises here at what time? It is sun rises in the easternmost part of India at what time? Chalo, I'll make it 6 a.m. if not 3? Sure, 3:52. यहाँ पे 6 a.m. the sun rises. Yes, at what time is the sun rising in the northeast? Near to 4 a.m. 4:08. 4:08 पर the sun rises. Are you okay at your place if the sun is rising at 4 a.m.? you won't be okay, क्योंकि आपको भी 4 बजे उठना पड़ेगा, right? So we have some problems with respect to the latitudinal extent and longitudinal extent of India. It is more of the longitudinal problems that we have discussed in the time zone. What is the time zone that there is a demand? This part is demanding for a time zone called Chai Bagan time zone, right? So these are some things that you need to keep in mind. Okay. Tropic of Cancer passes through 8 states. Now quickly open your atlas and identify what are these 8 states. Gujarat, next Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, West Bengal, Tripura, Mizoram. So quickly note it down. Gujarat, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, West Bengal, Tripura and Mizoram. Here the capitals of Rajasthan, Tripura and Mizoram, these are present north of Tropic of Cancer, and rest of the capital cities are present south of the Tropic of Cancer. Okay? Those states which are passing, which are having their Tropic of Cancer, except for Tripura and Mizoram and Rajasthan, all the other capital cities are present south of the, yes, westernmost point, it is Motera, that is, or Guhar Mota. Westernmost point is Guhar Mota और Motera, दोनों same है. Guhar Mota local name है गुजरात का. And the easternmost point, it is Kibutu. ठीक है? This is where you have Kibutu. Southernmost point is Indira Point. Northernmost point is Indira Col. ठीक है? Mainland में Cape Cameron और Kanyakumari. This is the mainland southernmost point. Okay. And India is bordered with how many countries? Number बताओ. I'll tell the country name, you tell me, do we have the border or not? Sri Lanka, maritime boundary we have. Next, land boundaries, Afghanistan. We have an Afghanistan boundary of how many kilometers? 20 kilometers we have, that is occupied by Pakistan. So we have 20 kilometers of boundary which is present here. Now what is this line called? You know that the line between India and Pakistan, the international boundary, this is called as? Arey, that is not LOC. Entire line is not LOC. This is Radcliffe line. See, India has boundary with Afghanistan also. This is how the Radcliffe line shows. Only till here this is Radcliffe line. Radcliffe line is a line which divides what is India and what is Pakistan, and this line is approved by both, accepted by both the countries to an extent. But we have a disputed area. Now the disputed area starts from a point called point NJ9842. ठीक है? This is where the point or the pillar name NJ9842, from here it starts the conflict, that is LAC, line of control, LOC, not, this is LOC. See, LOC is not the line between India and Pakistan. LOC is the line that is control, who is controlling which territory. ठीक है? I'll explain that. But before that, you need to know that this is also Radcliffe line. That means I wanted to show you this one. This chota line is also Durand Pass. D-U-R-A-N-D, Durand line or Durand Pass. What is this? See, like India and Pakistan, the boundary line which divides what is India, what is Pakistan, which is international boundary, this is called as Radcliffe line. ठीक है? But the line which divides what is Pakistan and what is Afghanistan, what is this line called? This is nothing but Durand line. ठीक है? This is your Durand line. Durand line is nothing but a person who named Durand who tried to solve this problem. The line that divides Pakistan with that of Afghanistan. It is Durand line. Very good. Now, do we have our boundary with Bhutan? Yes. Do we have our boundary with Nepal? Nepal, yes. Bhutan, yes. China? China, yes. Myanmar? Yes. Bangladesh? Yes. Now look into your atlas. How many states does have international boundaries? At least with 3 countries. Or else, how many states have boundaries with 3 countries? How many states of India has boundaries with 3 countries? Atlas देख के बता देना. Sikkim has the boundary between Bhutan, Nepal and China, 1 country. Right? अगर आपके पास एटलस है तो यहाँ पे गोल मार्क करके ये कर देना बाउंड्री विथ 3 स्टेट्स प्लस आई टोल्ड स्टेट्स लद्दाख इज अ यूनियन टेरिटरी. ठीक है, जम्मू एंड कश्मीर इज अ यूनियन टेरिटरी. स्टेट्स, अरुणाचल प्रदेश हैज बाउंड्री विथ हाउ मेनी कंट्रीज? भूटान, चाइना एंड है ना, फिर 3 कंट्रीज के साथ. ठीक है, सेकेंड वन इज अरुणाचल प्रदेश. नेक्स्ट, वेस्ट बंगाल हैज बाउंड्री विथ हाउ मेनी कंट्रीज? Is it not having boundary with Bhutan? Is it not having boundary with Nepal? Yes. Bangladesh also. Sorry, West Bengal. So these are the 3 states which have the boundary with 3 countries. ठीक है, states. So write it in your atlas itself. 1. Bangladesh, it has boundary with Myanmar. Sorry yaar. It is West Bengal has boundary with Bangladesh, it has boundary with Bhutan and it also has boundary with Nepal. Sikkim, Nepal, Bhutan and China, 3 countries. Assam, Arunachal Pradesh has boundary with China, Bhutan and Myanmar. Right? Sometimes these kind of questions can be asked by UPSC or any state PCS that you are picking up. Next. Okay. Country number 1, Afghanistan, we have an international boundary. Next, China, Nepal, Bhutan, Myanmar, Bangladesh, Pakistan. Sri Lanka has maritime boundary. We do not have land boundary. So in total, India has boundary lines with 7 countries. Now, from the highest border sharing country with the lowest border sharing country, try to organize them. Which country has the highest length of border with India? Bangladesh. Next to Bangladesh, is it correct? This is Bangladesh. ठीक है, this is the boundary and China's boundary starts from ठीक है, good. So yes. चलो, विल कम. ऊपर से क्यों नहीं जाएगा? ये तो हमारा टेरिटरी है. ठीक है, बट डिस्प्यूटेड है. आवर मैप्स हैज टू शो दिस इज आवर बाउंड्री. ठीक है, इन फैक्ट currently the India's control on Kashmir is only this part. That we'll discuss little later. But on the books it is first the highest bordering countries or the highest length of the boundary with any other country for India is first is Bangladesh. ठीक है, Bangladesh is number 1. Next, China number 2. Pakistan number 3. Next, Nepal number 4. Right? Simply Bangladesh, चाइना, पाकिस्तान, नेपाल. क्या हो गया ये? बचपन. दिस इज एन ईजी वे टू रिमेंबर. Sometimes these kind of questions can be asked. Then you have Bhutan. ठीक है? Myanmar and then Bhutan. Myanmar and Bhutan. At least you will have an idea of बचपन. ठीक है? Now coming to the issue of the boundary lines. See, the boundary line between every country has an international boundary. International boundary is an agreement. First, you need to understand the difference between what is an international boundary and how is it different from a frontier. ठीक है? Frontier सुना होगा. So, what is a boundary and what is a frontier? Can anyone try to differentiate? What is a boundary and what is a frontier? How is it different from? Yes. Boundaries are accepted by both the countries. And frontiers? Politically accepted nahi hai. This is what we get to hear. Right? Yes. It is disputed. So, कभी सुना है नॉर्थ वेस्ट फ्रंटायर प्रोविंस का गांधी है? व्हाट्स हिज नेम? हु इज नॉर्थ वेस्ट फ्रंटायर प्रोविंस गांधी? नॉर्थ वेस्ट फ्रंटायर प्रोविंस खान अब्दुल गफार खान. ठीक है? बट रिमेंबर नॉर्थ वेस्ट फ्रंटायर. नाउ व्हाट इज दैट फ्रंटायर or frontier? Firstly, there is a fundamental difference between what is a boundary and what is a frontier. Boundary is, as she rightly mentioned, that these are international boundaries. ठीक है? See here, international boundary is a boundary which is accepted by both the countries. Here, India also accepts, Pakistan also accepts that this is our boundary. ठीक है? Boundaries are clearly defined by both the countries, but frontiers, there is no clear-cut definition. For example, look here, we have Himalayas. Is there a line in Himalayas that will define this is a boundary? No. A frontier is an area where you have series of topographic platforms like mountains, rugged topography or forest, where it is difficult to define what is the boundary line. So usually it is an accepted norm that yahan se hamara boundary hai. Right? So the frontiers are, India has a frontier in the northwest. This part of area was once considered to be a frontier before independence. Northeast frontier, because you go and look into the forests that are present on the boundary lines, you have series of forests. Aaj bhi the people of Burma or people of Myanmar, they enter into 25 kilometers inside India just to come and trade. And people who are living in the boundary, they can enter 25 kilometers into the northeast, the Myanmar area, and they can buy and sell there. Weekly twice, there are markets that are there, and they are given permissions to that. Because it's a tradition. Even today, 20 kilometers of inside movements of these two places can take place. When you go to the northern part, that is in this part of the area, Himalayas are there is no clear-cut boundary. So we are still finding to try. Frontier is not a political name, it is generally a physiographic name. Right? So firstly, let's look into the boundaries. The boundary between India and Pakistan, it is Radcliffe. And the boundary between India and Bangladesh, it is also Radcliffe. And the boundary between India and China, what is it? The boundary line that is drawn between India and China, what is it? McMahon line. Very good. It is McMahon line. Now, what is McDonald line? Burger hai McDonald's, but it is also a boundary line. Same. See, McDonald and Mohan, both are same. Mohan is nothing but an Indian. Mech, दो बंदे मिलके बनाया है, this is the boundary line, right? McMahon and McDonald, both the boundary lines of India and China. These are international boundaries. And international boundary, if two countries accept that, Pakistan also accepted that this is the international boundary, India also accepted international boundary. So to guard this, which force is used? BSF. We also put BSF here. Now this BSF is Central Armed Police Force. It is a force of the police. Here army shall not be placed. Here also army shall not be placed. It means to say that army will not be placed just because of a reason that army has large arms and ammunitions. Right? But police, they can arrest you, they can detain you, as well as they do not have such large arms and ammunition. So it is always, conflict will not be there when you have the border security force. Likewise in Pakistan Ranger Force you have, who will be wearing black dresses. You might have seen raising their legs and saluting. So it is a counterpart of that. Whenever international boundary is agreed, what do you do is, if suppose this is your boundary line, you have a no man's zone. 50 meters, no man's zone. Here, no settlement should be there. You cannot construct a house, I cannot construct a house. What do we do then there? We can do agriculture. There's a boundary line that is there. And agriculture, to do in that region, you need the permission of the armed forces that are present there. Right? So India guards the Radcliffe lines with border security force. And we also have other bordering forces, such as this part of the area is guarded by ITBP. This is also by Indo-Nepal, Indo-Bhutan. ठीक है? These are guarded by ITBP. Sure? SSB. There is also a force called SSB. See, all the boundary lines between India and China, they are guarded by ITBP. Now, Indo-Nepal and Indo-Bhutan border, these are guarded by SSB, Sashastra Seema Bal. Right? Indo-Nepal, Indo-Bhutan. And there are some other forces by the name Assam Rifles. Now, Assam Rifles is a disputed armed forces. There will not be any question. It is always in the dispute. It is said that it is part of the Ministry of Defense and Coast Guards. So this part of India shall be guarded by Coast Guards is Ministry of Defense. Assam Rifles is also part of Ministry of Defense. Now in totality, these are the major armed forces which shall be guarding India. Now where is army posted then? Suppose if I said that this part of the Indo-Nepal and Indo-Bhutan by SSB, Sashastra Seema Bal, and India and China it is by ITBP, then where is army posted? Army shall be posted in areas where you have disputes. Now look at this particular map, right? See, this is an old map. From here, look here, your line of actual control is not the entire boundary line between India and Pakistan. From a point by the name NJ9842, from here, it starts the line of control. Line of control in the sense, that is the place where, if you take this line, ठीक है? Today, this part of the territory is controlled by Pakistan. This part of the territory is by India. You know what does Pakistan call this area? This part of the area, what does Pakistan call, you know? India occupied Kashmir. Now, what is this? This is POK, that is Pakistan occupied Kashmir. Now, Pakistan feels that this entire territory belongs to them. I mean to show you this map. Look at this map. Pakistan thinks that this entire territory belongs to Pakistan. It also feels that The Jammu and Kashmir, the Ladakh belongs to their territory. And they call beautifully India occupied Kashmir. Okay? So that's why even in you go to Pakistan's assembly or Pakistan's the parliament, in the parliament they'll have some seats vacant. You know why? It is because they feel that one fine day they'll be occupying this and they'll make elections and they'll elect the people here and they'll make them sit there. This is the dream of the Pakistan that they have. Right? But on the other side, you look into India as well. India also has the total number of assembly seats when you look into it is how much? 555. But why is that never that 5 people are never being put there? 555 कभी fill नहीं होता. क्यों? Right? So, in totality, both the countries have same stands. But why is this disputed land? We have to go back to understand in the 1947. See, when India got independence in 1947, before 1947, there were more than 550 princely states. Now, what do you mean by princely states? These are areas where the land is, the territory or the land is controlled by kings. Kings pay certain taxes to British government and the British is okay with that princely states. Like that, before independence, we had good number of princely states. Out of that, the biggest princely states were 3. 1, Hyderabad. Now, what is that Hyderabad? See, the then time period Hyderabad consists of this part of the area. Look, how many states are there in Hyderabad? Some parts of Maharashtra, Telangana, that is Telangana, Karnataka, and some parts of Chhattisgarh as well. Now this is called as Hyderabad. Now this Hyderabad was under the control of Nizam. Whereas you come to the Gujarat area, here you have a place called Junagadh. Okay? This was also under the control of a king. See, the king here is an Islamic religion follower. But the population here is Hindu based. Population is Hindu. This is also considered to be one of the biggest princely state. The next princely state you will come across is the Kashmir. Okay? Majority of this entire Kashmir was with Raja Hari Singh. Now this Raja Hari Singh is a Hindu, but population is dominantly Islamic followers. Right? So see here, the king of Junagadh would like to go and join with Pakistan. The king of Hyderabad, he gave an order that I am going to join with Pakistan. Now Raja Hari Singh, he is confused. And in fact, he wanted this part of the territory to be an independent nation. It do not wants to go with India or Pakistan. Right? But look, this is some historical understanding that you need to have to understand the map in a better manner. Though it will be taught to you in other subjects as well, but the base should be here. First, when India got independence, 1947, it's not like that all of a sudden you slept and tomorrow morning you woke up, you got independence and everything changed. It was not like that. Every day discussions happened for last 4-5 years. We were in juggling positions. What should we India get? What should Pakistan get? In fact, we even calculated kaun sa bartan kahan pe jana chahiye. These were the level of transactions that we have done. Now coming to the Ministry of Defense. In the Ministry of Defense, if suppose I have 20 guns, who should I give this 10 guns to? The population of Pakistan is very less. Now should I give 10 guns to them? Now such kind of discussions also happened. Now there was a point when the defense minister during the time of before independence was one. Right? As soon as we got the independence, the army got divided. Now some amount of the army went into Pakistan. And those people who are there from the Pakistan, mostly Islamic religion followers went there and Hindu religion followers came here. Now this is something which is based on religion. In the due process, princely states were given an option. Princely state means those were the kings who held their territory, they used to pay taxes. They were given an option, and the option is that, number one, you can either join with Pakistan, or you can either go out join with India, or you can be an independent nation, it is up to you. Then Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel was given the task that go and integrate the princely states. Okay? Integration of the princely states. What do you mean by integration of the princely states? You go and make a treaty that, like this, alone Gujarat had more than 50 princely states. Chote. Jaise Raja of Patiala hai, Raja of some kind of Kutch hai, like that. Everyone made an agreement that they are going to merge their territory with India, for which whatever the territory that they are going to get, okay, whatever the territory that they are going to give to India, for which they will be paid certain amount of income. Okay? Yes. See, for suppose you are the king, and you king gave me 500 acres of land and you said that I will be merging it with India. What do you get in return? I should give you something, no? What is that you are going to get? Why defense? You are already integrating with me. You merged your territory with India. Protection of what? You are an Indian citizen. You get the protection of what others get as well. Have you ever heard of privy purses? The term? 1971, when Indira Gandhi came, she cancelled all the privy purses. You ever go to Delhi? You used to have a building by the name Hyderabad House, Jaipur House, Junagadh House, Patiala House. All the kings who used to be there in this part of the territory, they have a representative houses in Delhi. If they got merged with India, they were given certain funds. For example, you have so much of territory, you merged it with India. Now every year India used to pay certain paisa to you. Now that is nothing but your privy purses. Privy purses are nothing but your purse is so privileged just because you have merged with India. Right? Indira Gandhi cancelled all of this in 1971. But before that, you look here. Here, the biggest problem when India got independence was one with the Hyderabad, other with Junagadh, and the third with Kashmir. Kashmir said that I want to become an independent nation. Junagadh wanted to go and merge with Pakistan, but people of Junagadh, they are not happy going and getting merged. But when it comes to Hyderabad, Nizam, now this fellow outrightly said that I am an independent nation or I wanted to go to Pakistan. Patel Bhai ko bola tha, Nehru ne, please go and get all of these fellows, make an agreement. So somehow Nizam, even till 1948, we got our independence in 1947. Till 1948, this was not merged with India. He created a lot of problems to India. That means he's not adhering to the decisions which are made. Somehow, Junagadh, they made a plebiscite. Plebiscite is nothing but there is a voting that has been held and all the people said that they wanted to merge with India. They got. Now, when it comes to Pakistan, when it comes to Kashmir, from this side, the forces of Pakistan started entering into India. Raja ke paas, he did not have that strong army, and it was a surprise attack by Pakistan. They thought that, chalo, if he is an independent guy, we can attack him. Let's go and attack and take this territory. Raja Hari Singh came to India. He asked, please help me stop it. Now, that then time period, Indian forces which were stationed in this Pathankot, they were quickly moved to, and here India went and stopped them. This is where Indian army stopped them. Now, the place where the Pakistani army was stopped, this place is called as line of control. Now, here the story goes on. There are some disputes, but we need not enter into the geopolitics then. It was UN came into picture. Nehru, instead of taking it on his own, he went to UN and said that let's solve this treaty. But when UN comes into picture, First they make a delayed process. Had if the then time period if they have been pushed, of course it was a war kind of situation, people die in a war, but the territory would have had a permanent solution then. But later on, it's been almost 70 plus years, we still do not have the solution to this. The UN came into picture, UN tried to mediate, but it did not work the way it was. Right? So the place where the Pakistan army advancement was stopped, that is what is called as line of control. And when this line of control was formed, there were some conditions that was put by India to Raja Hari Singh. It was said, Raja, from now on, you will be with India. Okay? But Raja also put some conditions that I want my powers to be there with me. I need my own constitution. Okay? That's why you have Pakistan has separate constitution. Sorry, the Kashmir has different constitution. Till when? Yes, till recent time. Now in that, there are some special powers that are given to that constitution. Those constitution is that it is, special powers are that anything that need to be changed, they need their consent. Women are not given certain rights there because Islamic culture is prevalent there. As per the Islamic cultural, the then time period pe constitution bana gaya tha, constituent assembly and all. These were some historical aspects that you will come across, but he was told that except for defense, communication, okay, and international relations, all these three will be under the control of India. Defense means if someone comes and attacks Kashmir, it is an attack on India. Second thing, communication. Communication means this fellow, if he has to make a communication with another country, first of all, he should come and ask us. Plus, any telegram, telegraph, all the things will be under the control of India. And the third one, it is international relations. This fellow cannot go and make a treaty with another country without the permission of India. Right? So these were three things that were withholded by India, and rest of them were given to Kashmir region. Now rest of them, in the sense, police, they have the power. Land, they have it. They have it in the sense, the then time period I am telling. Now, in 1950s, these were the powers that were given. Yes, 370s in the constitution, article 370 was brought in, some provisions which were there, they were given to it. And rest of the story already you guys know, that will be taught to you in the history or international relations. Right? This is the geographical understanding that you need to know. Now, why this LOC came into picture? Now, wherever this land, which we call it as LOC, which is a disputed land, from the line of control from here to this part of the region, okay, this is nothing but, so today, this is Pakistan occupied Kashmir and this is India, right? So someday we shall be taking back. This is what our Home Minister says. Right? वो कहते हैं हम कुछ भी दे देंगे, जान भी दे देंगे. Right? So let's wait for this. Right? Now what is this NJ 9842? It's a pillar, from there we calculate. Now this is the place where army is stationed. Right? Army will be backed by CRPF or ITBP. They'll have separate forces behind them. Now army will take care of it. You might have also come across the glacier named Siachen. See, this is called Siachen Glacier. It is the biggest glacier in India. The length is near about 50 odd kilometers. That is the length, and width is around 20 kilometers. This is the highest, if you take this part of the area, is considered to be the highest battleground which was ever there, and our army is continuously stationed. So last month, if you have come across the doctor, recently the current affairs, yes, he lost his life in the Siachen. See, Siachen is one of the topmost or highest battlefield which you can ever think of. Issue with this is that, see, back in 1984, what happened was, 80s and 70s, Pakistan thought that it lost the war in 1971, right? When it lost the war in 1971, it wanted to take a revenge in one or the other form. Pakistan never completed one single 5-year term in democracy. Okay? India is the mother of democracy, right? India completed at least near about 12 full-time governments under democracy. But in between we had an emergency, no doubt. But we always come back to our democracy. And since 2000 you look into, we are always there as a democratic nation, full-fledged. Pakistan देखो, आज तक एक भी term 5 साल कभी complete नहीं हुआ under the prime ministership. They always go and coup होता है, right? So there was a time period when the army general thought that we shall occupy this, and from here we'll cut off the Kargil, right? So before that, our Indian intelligence is very strong. They wanted to go and buy some equipment, which is high altitude equipment. Our IB, the then time period pe, and RAW, tab bhi shuruaat hua tha. They got to learn the intelligence from France that Pakistan has ordered large number of equipments which are meant for high altitude. Glacier. So India before that already bought that equipment, and we sent our forces to Siachen and we asked them to be stationed there. Even today, at least there is 1 or 2 casualties every month on Siachen. Very tough. It is not because people are fighting there, it is just because the soldiers are trying to survive there. Because we have 2 kinds of diseases. I want you to go and read about them. Haze and ape. ठीक है? Haze and ape. High altitude pulmonary edema, high altitude cerebral edema. This is called as okay. Maybe in prelims it can be asked from science and technology side, right? Haze and HAPE, high altitude cerebral edema, मतलब brain में पानी जाना या water entering into the brain. Pulmonary edema means water entering into your lungs. These 2 things can happen. Because of that, the loss of life can be fatal. Apart from that, movement of the glacier, continuous movement hota hai glacier. So that movement can also lead to the death scenarios here. And the operation that was named to capture or else to withhold the territory of the Siachen is called as Operation Meghdut. This is an Operation Meghdut. For the Kargil, we fought Kargil War, right? 98-99. So there is a treaty between India and Pakistan. It's a norm and a convention that during the times of winters, this entire territory across the line of control, the army stationed across the Pakistan should move back 50 kilometers, and the army stationed here should move back 50 kilometers. Now this is the norm. Along with the forces and the equipment, they have to move back. Except for guarding or patrolling, that is what is the norm. This norm we have been following since many years. But in 1998 and 1999, what happened is that there are few forces, they did not move back. In fact, they have advanced and occupied this part of the territory. Right? Once this part of the territory is occupied, moving towards Siachen is a difficult task. And Siachen is present between the tri-junction point of 1. The China occupied Ladakh, and this is illegally occupied by Pakistan. This is called as Sakjam Valley, and they gifted this to China. Right? This part of the territory was, this is called as Sakjam Valley. This is illegally, Pakistan occupied it, and later on Pakistan gave this to China. Right? Now if you enter into this area, China will come into picture. पहले तो illegally occupy किया कश्मीर पाकिस्तान ने, and then it gave to China. So it's a double dhamaka that India has to face. And of course India is always ready to all of these aspects. Now Siachen glacier which is there, slowly it has boundary with Pakistan as well. It also has boundary with the Pakistan occupied and ceded to China territory. And Tibet also, this part of the area. So suppose if Kargil is occupied, then the pathway to Siachen can be cut off easily. This is what they have thought. Got it? You open your atlas and look into the maps as well. You'll have a better picture. There will be some passes that will be found. Okay? Look here. I want you to note these passes. Number 1. From Jammu to Srinagar, if one has to travel they have to pass through a pass by the name Banihal Pass. Okay, passes shall be represented like this. If you have it in your atlas, wonderful. If it is not there, it's fine. Now from Kashmir to Kargil or Kashmir to Leh, this part of the area, this road is called as, this pass is called as, anyone? Zojila. From Jammu to now from Leh to Siachen or so, if someone wants to go, what is the pass? Yes, say it loud. Someone wants to move from Himachal to Leh, the pathway that you choose is? Dekho, la, all these laws are nothing but la means pass. Right? So in your atlas, if you have TTK atlas, you might find them with the passes small aise dikhta hai. The passes are mentioned like this. Right? So I want you to remember these passes. Okay? So Jammu to Srinagar, it is Banihal. Srinagar to Leh or Ladakh, it is Zojila. From Leh to Siachen, it is? Yes, Kardungla. Right? So if you have this particular map, TTK Atlas में ना clearly दिखता है यहाँ पर. It will be marked, passes will be marked. It's okay, even if it is not there, just simply mark it right there. Right? And see, in fact, just beyond this part of the area is a plain area. What is this plains called? Dipsang Plains. You have it in your atlas in the physical map. You go and check. If not, fine. These are Dipsang Plains. See, Dipsang Plains में one of the territory that I have shown you yesterday, एक aeroplane आया, it has stopped and हमारा runway है. What is that? Daulak Beg Orly Airport. It is present in the Dipsang Plains area. It is a plain present between these mountains. South of the Siachen Glacier it has. Right? So, in totality, you need to remember these passes. Right? Passes क्या होता है? See, you have mountains that are present in this area. Okay? This is a range of a mountain. Again, you have, these are mountain ranges. Then you have the mountain ranges of this sort. Basically, passes are nothing but a road or a route which connects one mountain range with another mountain range. These are passes. Now, by using which pass you will move from, imagine this is your greater Himalayas, this is lesser Himalayas, this is Shivaliks. Just imagine. If you have to move from south of Shivaliks to north of Shivaliks, which pass you have to cross? Banihal. But in reality, it is, this is Karakoram, Ladakh, this is Great Himalayas, Zanskar is somewhere in between. Okay, these are Zanskar. So, if you have to cross the Great Himalayas, which pass you need to cross? That is Banihal. Okay, just imagine Banihal pass cross करके then you have to go. Right? Right. Likewise, Zojila cross करने के लिए one mountain change. This is nothing but your passes. Clear? So, one. Jammu to Srinagar, quickly recall. Yes, Banihal. Banihal tunnel भी है. Srinagar to Kargil or Leh? Zojila. Leh to Siachen Glacier? Yes, Kardungla. Baralachala is from Himachal to Leh. So these are the main passes that you need to remember. Okay, come back. See, coming to the Next territory, that is your line of actual control. Now look here, same kind of disagreements we also have it with China as well. During the 1962 war, they actually pushed a lot of territory inside India, and here Indian army is placed, here Chinese army is placed. Both of them face each other. Now why is that this part of the territory has so much conflict? Is it just not like that, taki hum log, chalo let's leave this territory? What is that we are going to gain by gaining this territory? Why is that we should fight with Pakistan? Why can't we go for an agreement? See, basically, you can talk with a country who is democratic. When your army is in control, army would never like to have negotiations that easily. An army that has faced defeats, it's not easy for the Pakistan to come onto the tables and sit and make the decisions. It has taken the beatings from India many a number of times, all the way from 65, 71 and 1999 Kargil or any other small scale warfares that they have. This is not a democratic country. We can never trust upon this country. Okay? The people are not bad there, it's the governments that are bad. But of course, the government is elected by the people there. So, at one or the other point of time, if it is democratically elected for 5-10 years, then we might trust. Kargil भी ऐसा ही था ना, 2 दिन पहले अपना अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी जाके गले मिला के आया, and then the very next day they started to attack. So even the Prime Minister do not know that there is an attack that was being planned against Kargil. So that is the conflict that Pakistan has. Okay, all these things, ethics and all, we can discuss in detail. See, kabhi dekho, you have an army person and you have an army person. He tries to kill during the war and he tries to kill the other person. Is the value of life the same? It is same, right? Now instead of army person, I'll put a terrorist here and a soldier here. Is the value of life the same? The unit value of life is same. It is not same for you. Values are subjective in nature. For suppose the terrorist who is present there, unka bhi to life hai na? Why is that person became a terrorist? He's brainwashed. Why is that this person became an army soldier? Because he's trained, right? Because he is within the limits of the constitution. He went beyond the limits of the constitution. He has taken the terms of constitution into hands. Here, the value is same. Value of life is the same. But the value which you see through the lens, it might be different. Right? So, for example, the values that are taught to him, the values are that please go and kill this person. Now, this person kills in the name of protection of the territory. Right? So, the values are always the same. The value of life is one, but the perception that you have, it always depends. So values are also subjective. Now why we consider this fellow as a bad entity? Civilian को attack, he is also fighting a war in his mind, no? उनको भी किसी ने कहा होगा, someone has told that you are a hero, you are a soldier. After your death, you will have a jannat. This is what they have believed. Right? That's a perception which is given to him. And this person is fighting for his country. They are about to kill in some stories that they believe and in some values that they believe. See, the value justification comes into picture when the rules and regulations that we have drawn, is the person within that limits or not. This person is not within the constitutional limits. And this person is within the constitutional limits because we have set 2 rules. 2 governments nahi chal sakte for the same people. 2 rules cannot function for the same person. That's why we have to kill one set of rules and make sure to follow one set of rules itself. So this is nothing but war ethics. Kabhi war mein winners hota hai kya? There are no winners in a war. In a crime, Suppose, let's imagine a person has done a crime, committed a crime and killed another person. Now, what kind of justice do you expect? Suppose, let's imagine this is one person and this is another person. This is X, this is Y. X came and killed Y. So, police comes, right? Police arrests this person and then sends to judiciary. Judiciary sends him into jail. What is the justice system that we are following here? What kind of justice did you do to this person? He's killed, no? He's no longer there in his life. There is sorrow that is given to the mother and father if it is married, wife and children, brothers and sisters, near and dear of fellow friends. This person not just created trouble to him, but trouble to a section of a society. In fact, to set of people which they are going through the emotional trauma, which sometimes can be there. If he is a bread earner or breadwinner, he can be there since. This kind of pain is going to be there for their eternity. Okay? Now, by putting him in jail, is this justice? Someone said the answer, very good, reformative. Now, what is the justice system that you are going to follow? Why did you put him in jail? Taki? Sanvi says, ताकि change हो जाए वो. ठीक है? Who is going to change? This person? ठीक है, we'll put him in jail for 14 years that he'll repent that मैंने गलती किया, and then when he come out, this person will say that चलो, I will not do it again because I have suffered 10 to 12 years. Did you give justice to him? Their family? Then why do we call it as a justice? There is a reason why I am explaining this. I'll link up with the human geography aspects there. See, justice system दो तरह होता है. एक distributive justice भी है. जैसे, if suppose some harm has been done to you in the past, maybe reservations are given to you in this current generation. That is distributive justice, and it's a progressive justice. Other way is reformative justice. Reformative in the sense, if suppose this person is punished, the population which is there currently, this population will get to know that, if this person has done this crime, that means he went into jail, he is suffering. So others who are there, they are going to fear. And the expectations of the government is that it is reformative. We are going to reform this. And we are going to reform the society. But a victim who is killed or a victim who is a sufferer in India, there is no justice. Okay? Our Indian justice system is reformative justice system. Now this is a colonial attitude which we have in our justice system. Rather, if this person kills, what do you give to the person who lost their family? In fact, they are the ones who have to go to the court for years together and have to explain them again and again that he killed. What is that they are going to get? Nothing. So this is reformative justice system in India that we'll learn in the human geography. I'll somewhere link it up. There's a few topics that are there in geography. Okay? So in totality, coming back, this is what is your geography of the Kashmir region. Right? So one, Siachen आपको जानना चाहिए. Shasgam Valley. Next, line of control. Line of actual control is a line between China and India. Line of control is a boundary line between Pakistan and the India, which is currently the Union Territory. ठीक है? Okay. China के साथ war happened in 1962. 65 it is Pakistan. ठीक है? We had one war with China in 1962. The major 62 में they have moved interior also. ठीक है? So today, the current map of Kashmir will be like this. Currently, we do not control. Here, the people who are present here, all these people, they claim to be the citizens of Pakistan and China. For example, you look into your atlas, there is a mountain by the name K2. Karakoram यहाँ पे होता है. To climb this Karakoram, the Pakistan government charges somewhere around 8 lakh rupees as a tax or an entry permission. That 8 lakh rupees goes to Pakistan government, not to Indian government. ठीक है? Now in totality, this is the territory which is under the control of India, and this territory is not under control of India. But we have the hope that this issue shall be resolved in a further time period, and then we can get this back. Here, the issue here is UN is involved. Had if no involvement of the UN, things would have been different. Okay. And see the passes that you can get to see in your, this is Khardungla. Right? So here is where from Srinagar to Jammu, this is where Banihal. Right? So this is your Kargil. So this pass is called as Zojilla. And from here it is Baralachala. These are the three important passes that you need to know. Baki hundreds of passes will be there, but you need not remember much. One more pass that I want you to remember here is the place where Indus River and Satluj River enters. The place where Satluj River enters, this pass is called as Shipkila. Shipkila. See, look into your atlas, you will find the river Satluj entering into India, and this Satluj entering into India is called as Shipkila. Now, the disputed places that you need to know. कहाँ है यार? Okay. Daulat Beg Oldi, it's an airport, right? Highest airport. Galwan region, conflict area. And then it is the Konkala, it is nothing but a hot spring area. These are some places that can be asked in the current affairs. If at all, any of this place, if it is in news, only then it is important, else it is not much important. Just you need to know that these are the disputed places. And all of you got the handout? Online it shall be uploaded in some time, don't worry. मेजर पर्पस क्या होता है? टेरिटरी के पीछे दो कंट्रीज लड़ते हैं. इट इज स्ट्रैटेजी, टेरिटोरियल इंटीग्रिटी. मीन if you cannot withhold your own territory. Her question is that why is that two countries fight between for the sake of territory? One, aspirations, but more than that, it gives the confidence to the citizens. For suppose if you are not withholding the territory of your own country, there is a possibility that if you did not withhold another country can come and push you. So to give the confidence to the citizens, first of all, you should be showcasing your power, either through soft or through harsh war realities. Okay? But for India, the reasons are different here. Look, this small area, it is a boundary line between India and Afghanistan. Afghanistan, you look into Atlas, it is a connecting agent between the India to the rest of the Europe. यूरोप की जरिए कनेक्टिंग एजेंट है, रशिया के साथ कनेक्शन से. अफगानिस्तान एक स्वीट स्पॉट है. इट्स सच अ स्वीट स्पॉट दैट एवरी कंट्री वांट्स टू गो देयर एंड हैव द टेरिटरी, बट नेवर दोस कंट्रीज वर सक्सेसफुल. व्हाई? बिकॉज ऑफ इट्स टोपोग्राफी, rugged topography, the culture of Afghanistan, and the Islamic belief that they have. ठीक है? So no country It was always a battlefield for two different countries, but never they were successful in occupying that territory. Be it Russia, it got its beatings. Be it the USA, it got its dose. So if this territory is open to us, our trade route becomes easy. We always have conflict with Pakistan, but Afghanistan is our friend. Okay? At least they believe that India is their friend. And we give lot of funds to them, serve them. So if this is open to us, it becomes easy for us. And IR, when you read, you'll come across that there are also places where the China-Pakistan economic corridor is being built. That means the China is building a Belt and Road Initiative. I want you to go home and read about Belt and Road Initiative. China is also building that. All these things become important for us. Right? Okay. Now coming to the McMahon line, see, this part of the territory which is having border with Arunachal Pradesh, that has border with China, this is called as McMahon line. Right? Again, it's a disputed line. Okay. So there was a time period when one of the officer who is staying in the India wanted to visit China. Right? Chinese government said that you need not require a visa because you are already in China. Okay. This was the statement which was given 10 years before when one of the IAS officer wanted to visit China, because it is already said that up China mein ho. So these are some ways that China pokes India. Right? Next. So multiple disputed points. See, these are Chinese strategies. They never showcase that they are wrong. They always point out that aapne galti kiya, aapne galti kiya, aapne galti kiya. I am the victim. I am the victim. This is what they play. They are not a victim. They showcase that they are victim. Their media is so strong. And they are controlled by government itself. If government says to pull something down, they have to pull it down. But in India, you are a democracy. These are problems that comes with democracy. Right? But China is not a democratic nation. It's a communistic nation. One party. Only one party. There is no other party. Whosoever comes into the power, their ideology will be the same. Only the person changes. Their working culture will be the same. But in India, Rahul Gandhi has a vision. Modi has a vision. The Nitish Kumar has a vision. Everyone has their own vision. And India has different states with their own language and with their own developmental agendas. For their developmental agendas, they switch their parties and the government changes. But China is not like that. It is one party country. It is just one party, single party communist country. So these kind of countries, they are always aggressive in nature. They can go to any extent. Finger problems. See, now coming to the problem of fingers with China, whenever you come across the places like fingers, China says that India and China has conflict on fingers. So what are these fingers? Basically, when you see from the space, you will come across few places that looks like a finger. Now let me show you them. Just a minute. 5 fingers, 4 fingers. Look here. Dispute areas of India and China. This is Aksai Chin in the Kashmir area. Now look from the space, don't they look like fingers? Finger 1, finger 2, finger 3, finger 4, finger 5, finger 6. So this is your Pangong Tso Lake. Okay? So across this Pangong Tso Lake, we have some disputed territories, and these disputed territories are called as finger points. Now why finger points? When you see from the satellite, they look like a finger of a hand. That's it. Nothing beyond this, I think you should know. Done? Now, see, broadly speaking, India's boundary does look like this. Yesterday, in the last class, I told you about the UNCLOS UNCLOS. In that, these are the exclusive economic zones of India. That means our territory where mines and minerals that we can explore is up till this area. So is it wider on the eastern coast or western coast? It is wider on the western coast. Our continental shelf is wider on the west coast and it is narrower on the east coast. ठीक है? It is not that some books and even many institutes on internet, they have written that east coast continental shelf is wider. No, no. It is west coast of India has wider continental shelf. ठीक है? It depends for which activity are you being arrested. For mining, if you're mining in the exclusive economic zone of India, then the laws shall be applicable of India, but with the permissions of the UN clause. ठीक है? There is a United Nations court होता है, वहाँ पे prosecute किया जाता है, but anything in the internal water or territorial water, purely IPC will be there. Yes. See, there is Hamesha, when these kind of conflicts are there between Sri Lanka and India, there is a clash of territorial water also. So the Talweg property is being utilized. It is done on the basis of the cooperation. Issues are always there. The fishing activity, the trawling activity, India and China, it's bilateral cooperations we build upon, rather going into the United Nations. Okay? And the last border, please look into your atlas and tell me how many states has border with Myanmar. Does Tripura has border with Myanmar? Mizoram? Does Mizoram has border with Bangladesh? Yes. So this is something that I want you to note it down. Mizoram has border with Bangladesh and Mizoram also has border with Myanmar. So this country, on one side Myanmar, on the other side Bangladesh. Tripura has entire boundary with Bangladesh. Name the state in the northeast which do not have boundary, any international boundary. Name the state in the northeast which do not have boundary with any country. There are no states in the northeast. All the northeastern states have at least one इंटरनेशनल बाउंड्री. ठीक है? याद रखना, कभी कभार इस टाइप का सवाल पूछा जा सकता है. नाउ इफ वन वांट्स टू ट्रैवल फ्रॉम केरला टू नागालैंड, if I am excluding the origin and the destination states, how many minimum number of states a person has to travel to reach Nagaland? Let me repeat the question. Look into your atlas. A person is asked to travel from Kerala to Nagaland, and if I am excluding the origin and the destination states, how many minimum number of states the person has to cross to reach Nagaland? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Someone is saying 6, किसी ने 7. Akanksha is trying to say 5. कैसे? Whosoever said 5. I have excluded origin and destination states. Online? Someone said 9. Hemavati, no. Minimum number of states ka. See, the question which I asked you, it is a UPSC previous year question. Now look at India map. See, start from Kerala, then go to Tamil Nadu and follow the boundary states Tamil Nadu to Andhra Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh to Odisha, Odisha to Bengal, Bengal to Assam, Assam to. Now, if one enters into Assam, they can reach. Assam is connected to all the northeastern states. Is this statement right? Yes? Sikkim is also part of northeast, but it is not part of the seven sisters. ठीक है? Assam is one state which has boundary with all the other northeastern states. Right? Very interesting aspect of this. It is Assam which has boundaries with all the northeastern states. क्या? See, let's solve it. I am asked to go from Kerala to Nagaland. I am excluding the origin state and the destination state. Now this is Kerala. I'll go to Tamil Nadu. Then I'll go to Andhra Pradesh. I'll go to Odisha. Then I'll go to Bengal. Then I'll go to Assam and then to Nagaland. Answer is 5. Okay, it's not 7, it's not 6. I asked minimum number of states. It's 5. So this was the UPSC question. Things can be asked of this sort. Yes? Current affairs में हो सकता है कुछ topics है. So you need to follow these kind of aspects as well. Whenever you and your friend gets bored, बचपन में book open करके you used to play some mapping games and all. Try to do that. It will really help you in your UPSC. Okay. Now, how many states in India has coastal lines, coastal areas, or it has coast? How many states in India has? 5, 6, 7, 8. Goa is? Yes? Say it loud. State. Is Goa state or union territory? How many union territories are there currently? Name them. Chalo, 2. One in which you live, that is your Chandigarh. Next, Jammu and Kashmir, that is Ladakh. 3. Union territory of Delhi. Union territory of Diu and Daman. Nagar Haveli. ठीक है. Next, Puducherry. Next. Lakshadweep and Andaman. 9, no? Is Goa a state or union territory? State. ठीक है. It is single, merged. 8, it is 8. ठीक है. So, it is merged. J&K is not merged. Jammu and Kashmir is different and Ladakh is a different union territory. They are 2 different union territories. So in totality, these kind of questions can be asked. So you need to be clear with what are the union territories and what is not. क्या हुआ? 8 now, Dadar Haveli and Diu and Daman, they are merged to be 1. So if someone gets Agmut cadre, they are posted into any of these union territories. AGMUT. Like you have Haryana cadre, Punjab cadre, Andhra, Telangana cadres. If you become an IAS and if you're posted there, your lifetime, almost except for 7 years, you will serve in that particular state itself. Right? 7 years you can go on deputation to any other state or center. First, suppose you got Agmut cadre. Agmut means AGMUT. That UT is Union Territory, AG, Assam, and you also have Goa, Mizoram. Okay? So this Agmut cadre, you will be moving here and there, and Delhi also. Majority of your time you will be in Delhi. So Agmut cadre is a double-edged sword. Right? If someone don't like you, दिल्ली से सीधा अंडमान निकोबार भेजेंगे, फिर उसके बाद वहाँ पे किसी से लड़ाई करो, या यू शो योर डिसइंटरेस्टेड इन एनी ऑफ द प्रोग्राम विद द पॉलिटिशियन, दिल किक यू टू कश्मीर, and again you do something, they'll put you in Chandigarh. So Chandigarh and Delhi are the least prior. If your connections are very well, either you'll be staying in Delhi lifetime, almost 90% of your time in Delhi. It will be like that. Chalo. Okay. Now we shall be going towards our next topic, that is Physiography of India. I have given you a handout. Online it shall be uploaded in next, immediately after the class. Open that handout, that is the location of India. Yes. So one single page handout. This is important for prelims. Same things, neighboring countries of India. If there is any connection, please adjust it. That is, I think here union territories का list आपको बनाना है, right? The list of the union territories I did not give. Please add that. Next, let's go to our next topic, that is Physiography of India. Now, physiography generally takes into account, is it a plain area, is it a mountain area, is it a plateau, or what kind of landform it is. Right? That is called as physiography. So here India can be broadly be divided into the physiographic regions in terms of the Himalayas in the north, the desert in the west, and then Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats in the southern hills, plus the central highlands and the coastal plains plus the islands. This is how the physiography is divided. So broadly speaking, the physiographic divisions of India: first, the Himalayas; second, the peninsular block; now within this peninsula, you have peninsula is this part of India is called as peninsula, right? In the peninsula we'll discuss more. Western Ghats, the Deccan Plateau is also part of this, right? So these are some of the major physiographic regions that you will come across. In your NCRT, if you look into what they have done is they divided into different classifications, but this is the major classification that you need to know. Okay? So, yes, one more, it is Northern Plains. Or else this I'll be calling it as instead the Deccan Plateau. Right? Or else first let's study Himalayas, then I'll go to the plateaus of India or the peninsular block. The peninsular block includes this. Within this peninsular block, even Western Ghats comes into picture, Eastern Ghats, then you have Vindhyas, then you have Satpuras, likewise all the areas that are there. But to make it little more easier, I am going into detail to explain you all of these things. Right? So broadly speaking, this is what is your physiography of India, or the physiographic regions. Here you need to understand how the formation took place. Formation of what? formation of Himalayas is required, formation of the plateau, Western Ghats, Eastern Ghats का formation ज़रूरी नहीं है, Indian desert का formation you need to know, and coastal plains formation is not required, characteristics are required, island formation and northern place formation. So in totality, you need to learn about the formations of all of this. In fact, eastern coastal plains are also, formations are not required, only characteristics. ठीक है? Because there are some disputed theories with respect to each of this formation. For example, Western Ghats, one scientist says that are formed because of this, other scientist says they are formed because of this. Wherever there is a dispute, questions will not be asked. Right? So that's why we shall be learning the formations of these particular areas. Now first let's try to understand the formation of Himalayas, or before that let's quickly draw the diagram. These are your Himalayas, and these are your islands. Western coastal plains. Western Ghats, and these are your Eastern Ghats. Right? Plain area, and this is your plateau. ठीक है? In totality, this is the physiography of India. Now you need to understand the formation of each of this physiography. So eastern coastal plains, this is your I'll explain. That we'll discuss in other 5-10 minutes. Should I go ahead? Right? So, physiography of India in the sense plains, plateaus, mountains, how this physiography is present in India. So, what I want you to do is, I want you to pick up a plain map, which you will get in your any stationery shop you go. On the plain map, I'll give you some homework. Okay? That is with respect to mapping. If I ask you to map, these are the places that you need to map on India. Next day, you need to go to the atlas, and then I'll list out the places. That list of the places you need to map on the map. Or else you go and draw an India map. On the India map, I want you to mark them. So this way, mapping cannot be learnt in a day, in a 2 or a week. Mapping needs a consistent effort to understand. Once you learn the map, it will help you in paper 1, paper 2, paper 3, paper 4. Everywhere you can use, including your optional as well. Right? So we'll start with the first physiography, that is your Himalayas. And before that, if I am saying the peninsular India includes the Deccan Plateau, the southern hill complex, and to an extent the Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats also. Sometimes they are written. Right? In fact, this entire area is peninsula block. Okay? And this is your desert, northern plains, Himalayas, western coastal plains. I have drawn it in a very narrow manner on the west side and broader on the eastern side. Right? Western Ghats, they are also called as escarpments. चलो अरावली स्पीड ड्रॉ कर ही लेते हैं. ठीक है. Now let's start with Himalayas and their formation. I hope everyone has the clarity on geomorphology, the plates that we have discussed. So I'll be explaining in little more detail, so please try to understand this. The formation of the Himalayas can be dated back to near about 60 or 100 million years. 60 to 100 million years. The oldest Himalayan mountains. The youngest Himalayan mountains can be dated back to 2 million years. To, in fact, few lakhs of years also. And the Himalayas are forming as the youngest mountains. They are still actively being formed. The oldest can be dated back to, you can write up to 60 million years. So let's try to understand the Himalayas are further divided into Naktib also you can add, but so broadly the classification of Himalayas from north to south. This is the northernmost and this is the southernmost. Right? This is how the Himalayas are further divided into. You need to understand how these Himalayas are formed. Okay? And these three mountain ranges together, they are called as Trans-Himalayas. So trans are nothing but Karakoram, Ladakh, Zanskar. Then you have Greater Himalayas. The other name for Greater Himalayas is Himadri. Then you have Lesser Himalayas. The other name for it is Himachal. And then Pir Panjal and Doladar इन्हीं का नाम है. That Kashmir in it is called as Pir Panjals and Doladars in Himachal. Right? So let's try to understand the formations of this Himalayas. See, as everyone know that the India was once part of a major landform called Gondwana. ठीक है? India was present somewhere in the south and Indian plate. It started to move towards the north and it went and collided with Eurasia, and you got to see the formation of this Himalayas. This is what everyone know, we have studied in the geomorphology class. But when India went and collided, here you need to know the collision between India and Eurasia is not a continental in the beginning. In fact, it was continent, ocean and continent. Look here. India started to move towards north, and here, can you see this? This was a continent. Continent, ocean, continent. Can I showcase it in this manner? This is a continental plate, and here you had an oceanic plate, and then you also have continental plate, and in between you had Am I right? I hope everyone is able to understand this diagram, whatever I've drawn. I'll call this as Indian plate, and this part of the sea is Tethys Sea, and this is Eurasia. That means this was your Indian plate, this is your Eurasian plate, and in between you have this Tethys Sea plate. Now what happened to Tethys Sea plate? Submerged. Look here, continuously the plate India started to move in this direction and Eurasia was present here, but the plate which is oceanic in nature, it got subducted. And do you remember I told you in the beginning that when ocean and continent converges, what are the landforms that you'll ever get to see? Volcanism? Yes. Trenches? Yes. Next? Earthquakes? Yes. So, where are volcanoes present on Eurasia? Have you heard of volcanoes present on Eurasia? That is Tibet and all. See, I'm talking, this was the time period when India was present in the southern hemisphere and started. Initially, when this oceanic plate started to melt here, in fact, it punctured Eurasia, and then there were volcanic activity. There was a volcanic activity. When? 70 million years ago, 80 million years ago, 100 million years ago from now, there was a volcanic activity on the Eurasian plate. Right? But further, what happened is that, I'll draw this diagram. I hope you got to learn, you understand what I'm drawing here. See, this was a continent, and this was also a continent. In between you had an oceanic plate. Okay? So this oceanic plate is Tethys Sea plate. This is India, and this is China, ya Eurasia. So this is how the plates were moving and sinking. Clear? Now what do we do is, we'll try to go one step ahead. See, on a consistent basis, if you start to push Indian plate, imagine that you're continuously pushing Indian plate further. What happens to the Eurasian plate? Okay, if not Eurasian plate, this Tethys Sea plate. Yes. If I'm pushing this Indian plate, the Eurasian plate will also get pushed, and this part of the plate will go and melt into the mantle. It creates volcanoes onto the Eurasian plate. So 80 million years ago, I already told that there were some kind of volcanic activity. But now just imagine that I am going to push more and more. I am going to increase the speed. See, the rate of the speed of India as soon as it crossed the equator was 20 centimeters per year. 20 centimeters per year the India was moving on. It was moving at a very faster rate. And slowly, if the plate size is getting shrunk here, plate of what? Tethys Sea plate. This is also Tethys Sea plate and this is Tethys Sea. Don't you think there could be sediments in the Tethys Sea? Where did that sediments go? Accretionary ridges. Into the mantle. Chalo, let's understand that there are some sediments. These are the sediments. Some sediments went into the mantle. But some sediments, if you remember, I also told that there will be accretionary wedges that shall be formed. All the sediments that are there on the ocean, they come together and collect. Over a period of time, what happened was, you get to see the folding of the plate. Here, the sediments, all the sediments which are there, sediments I'll draw in a different color, they'll start to accumulate. Okay? Accumulation of the sediments took place. In the second case, when you look into, furthermore, this is Indian plate and this is Eurasian plate. So this is your Tethys Sea plate. That means it is sinking and it led to the volcanoes here. But what happens to the sediments? The sediments started to rise on either sides. Are you able to understand? As this sediment starts to rise, they are present on either sides. Now these sediments are of oceanic in nature or continent in nature? Oceanic in nature. Now what is the rock structure? Basaltic. Rock type is basaltic. That means over a period of time you will come across ये जो sediments है ना, they formed landmass. ठीक है? Today when you go and find some places on the Himalayas, ठीक है? On the top of the Himalayas you find the sediments of the Tethys Sea. ठीक है? Why? Because there are some sediments. These sediments can also be found here as well, because they collided with each other. That means sediments are found in this part of the area. And finally, there was a time when these two plates started to collide with each other. Sediments got deposited on both the plates, and this plate is subducted into the mantle. So that's why the Tethys Sea sediments are still found on the top of the Himalayas, and that are considered to be the evidences of that there was one sea present on the Himalayas. Right? So all these accretionary wedges which are currently formed today, they are perfectly fitting into Zanskar mountain ranges. I told you, काराकोरम, लद्दाख, ज़ांस्कर. ज़ांस्कर में सबसे ज्यादा सेडिमेंट्स पाया जाता है. ठीक है? फॉसिल्स आर फाउंड. द हिल्स, it is fully made up of basaltic rock. Right? It's not that Tethys Sea sediments are absent in Karakoram and Ladakh. No, they are present in greater Himalayas also, on the hills, top hills. You go to the Mount Everest top, you find basaltic rock. Where did basaltic rock come on the Mount Everest? The two on the top. Because your ocean is made up of basalt and your continent is made up of granite. So, see, in the further time period, what happened is that, now I'll exaggerate this diagram and try to show it to you. If suppose this is your continent, and this is also your continent, both collided with each other, and above that you also have the sediments of the Tethys Sea, which are deposited on either sides, and they are also uplifted. Now just imagine these two are continents, and these continents are colliding with each other, and there's a mantle convectional cell which is going ahead. Further, you will see that slowly the folding of the plate started to take place. That means I'm pushing both the continents from each other, either sides, collision is taking place. So here, the crustal folding of the continent started to take place. Don't you think the crustal folding will take place when I'm compressing it from both the sides? The first set of upliftment that has ever taken place was these sediments slowly started to rise. Okay? And here, the Indian plate which was there, what happened is it was pushed and it is present beneath the Eurasian plate. I am not telling that this plate went and subducted. India ka size bahut bada tha. How big was the size of India? See, imagine before this was the size of India and this was the size of Eurasia. But the size got shrunk. Why the size of the India got shrunk? Because Indian plate slided beneath the Eurasian plate, but there is no subduction. There was no subduction that was taking place. So because of this, the Indian plate which was there, slowly it is now present in this form. You got it? What I am trying to tell. So don't you think there is crustal upliftment that is taking place here, and then the height of this got increased? Because Indian plate was way bigger and Indian plate movement was active. Shaurya's question is that, sir, why is that Indian plate went beneath the Eurasian plate and not Eurasian plate beneath the India? Density is both the same. Continent density is same. But who moves faster? That depends. What was the speed of Indian plate? I told you. 20 centimeters. That is considered to be the fastest plate than time period it was moving. So somehow the Indian plate went beneath, and then this is how you get to see the formations. Now his question is that, sir, the life forms which are there in the Tethys Sea, do we get the fossils there? Of course you will get the fossils there. Got it? Now in this format, the first set of mountains that started to get uplifted here are Karakoram. Okay? Then further compression took place after a few millions of years, after 5 to 6 million years. So here, the next set of the Karakoram height increased. The height of the Karakoram is increasing, no doubt. And this Karakoram, on the top of this, what kind of material you get to see? Why? Why are they on the top? Because all the material is getting uplifted. So even today you go and search in the Karakoram regions, the surface area is full of this Tethys Sea sediments itself. Mitti dekho, it is full of salt in nature. At least till a depth of 30 meters deep you go, 20 meters deep you go. It is fully salt in nature. Except if the river is present in that saltness is washed off. So that's why cultivation is not that easy there, until and unless you might water it for 15-20 years. Then it becomes a fertile area. Right? So that's why Karakoram, Ladakh, they are not favorable for cultivation. Deserts, dry deserts माना जाता है, cold deserts माना जाता है, dry cold deserts. Salinity is also high. Next. Yes, at different time periods they started to get uplifted. It's not that all the upliftment of the Karakoram took place and then Zanskar started. No. Along with the upliftment of the Karakoram, Zanskar upliftment was also taking place. Right? And crustal folding. Crustal folding means, if suppose this is the plate of India, what do you mean by crustal folding? the crust gets folded. Okay? This is how the folding of the plate took place. Now, are these not mountains? बन गया ना mountain? That's it. Sometimes we draw it in a small area, but I can exaggerate and show you like this. Right? So this is what nothing but your crustal folding. Like this, continuous crustal folding took place. It's not just about once. For millions of years it is taking place. So the next upliftment that you will ever get to see here is on these mountain ranges. Slowly, the second set of compressions started to fold and uplift these mountains. Now this became Ladakh. And further, the next set of mountains, and in which complete pure oceanic sediments started to get uplifted. This is your Zanskar. That is the sediments. This is your Ladakh. And see, here you need to understand one more thing. All this Karakoram, Ladakh and Zanskar, they are actually formed on. Yes. See, this is. Look here, I'll draw the diagram and make it little more simplified. This is your Ladakh, this is your Karakoram, and this is your Zanskar. On all of these three, you find Tethisi sediments, right? So continuous formation of mountains took place. Now comes the picture of formation of Great Himalayas. See, the Great Himalayas which are formed, they are actually rocks. Proper rocks. Rocks in the sense, they are formed because of the crustal folding. Now what do you mean by crustal folding? See, the crustal folding here means this crust started to get fold more and more, and this crust started to get uplifted. And these are Great Himalayas. Now whenever the greater Himalayas were being formed, I'll go little more into deep to explain you and make things easier. There were 4 folds that were taking place. Okay? Now what are these 4 folds? Let me try to explain you. See, isn't this a plate? Let's imagine this is a plate. Right? On this plate, if I am adding more and more weight here, don't you think the shape of the plates can change? Right? Now these shapes which are formed like a saucer, okay? In fact, they are called as four dips. Okay? Because on one side they are formed, or else simply this is your 4 dip. Okay? Why? Because the weight of the plate got increased. Earlier, this is how the plate used to be. But now the shape of the plate got changed. Or else you can also imagine it to be like this. Earlier this is the shape of the plate, but now the shape of the plate is what is this? 4 dip. What is this? 4 dip. So during the time of the formation of the Himalayas, there were 4 dips that were being formed. If the Himalayas are formed here, then you had some 4 deep formations on this part of the area. Yes, this is how your 4 deeps were there. Now, in the 4 deeps, all the sediments, don't you think there are rivers on Himalayas? Now, those rivers used to go and deposit the material in the 4 deeps. Okay? Likewise, you had Indus and Brahmaputra river. Dekho, Indus and Brahmaputra river, they were there even before the formation of the Himalayas. Where were these rivers flowing into? The rivers used to flow like this. Your Indus river was present here and your Brahmaputra was flowing in this direction. The river was already there. The sea was already present. And there were few rivers which were flowing into this. In between, there are mountains that are formed later on. Will the river sit silently? If a mountain comes in between, it cuts across and it widens across. And while it is cutting, don't you think that the material that is being deposited, where will it deposit? Suppose if there is a river that is flowing, it has cut, all the materials will be deposited here, right? So in this, you will get to see the deposition of the materials. Okay? So your 4 deeps are getting filled because of the sediments that are formed. And one more thing, your Himalayas which are there, they are not a straight mountains. In fact, these hills, they are tilted like this. Okay? All these mountain ranges are connected with each other. I'll tell you what is that. Not syntaxial bend. In fact, your Himalayas which are there are tilted towards the south. And this 4 deeps slowly started, the sediments started. Imagine these are sediments that are there. I'll increase the size of Indian plate. The sediments that are there. And these sediments, later on again crustal folding started to take place. That means the crust started to fold. The next set of mountains that they have formed, they are these are lesser Himalayas. And these are greater Himalayas. There is actually a boundary between greater Himalayas and lesser Himalayas. It's not that if the lesser Himalayas are uplifting, the greater Himalayas have stopped their height. No. The greater Himalayas are also getting folded again. They are again increasing their height. It is like this. इनका भी height increase हो रहा है और इनका भी height increase हो रहा है ऐसे. Their height is also increasing, everyone's, because the more folding you do, suppose this is the plain area, I folded the mountain. Imagine this part of the area is a mountain. Okay? The frontal. If I'm folding, don't you think the height of the mountain increased? Likewise, the more the folding I do, then the next folding will be of this sort. ठीक है, 2 folds. पहले एक fold था, अभी 2 fold हो गया. Then this becomes a fold mountain, like this. So in this manner, the height of the Himalayas started to increase, and the last set of mountain ranges which are being formed. In fact, these mountain ranges are purely, completely, they are of 4 deeps, and these 4 deeps which are there, slowly they got filled up with Shivaliks. And Shivaliks are formed because of the sediments that are being carried by greater Himalayas and lesser Himalayas by the rivers. Now there will be a river, right? In this. So will the river jump from here and fall like this? No. Your river flows like this. Yes? How come the river reached to the bottom? Because, see, river always cuts anything that comes in its way. I mean to show, first suppose, river का काम क्या है ना? Imagine this is a plain area. ठीक है? Or else, see here. Imagine this is a plain area. And there is a river that is flowing here. Right? I have increased the height of this plain area. I mean to say that I have increased the height of this plain area. What does the river do? If I have increased the height of this area, the river will start to cut down. Right? Again, if I am uplifting this area, crustal folding is also happening. Don't you think this is how the upliftment right? Now there shall be a point of time when this is a river. I hope you understand what I have drawn. That means the depth of the river keeps on increasing as soon as the height of the landmass height increases. Same was the case. The rivers which were there already, these rivers which were present here, when they got collided with each other, slowly the continental land uplifted and the river start to cut across. So in this process today, the rivers are dissecting and cutting the Himalayas. Okay? And this dissection or else cutting down the Himalayas which are there, that is what the river meanders and makes the Himalayas to fall, rise. Right? So in totality, when you look today, as this part of the area, look here, as this part of the area which is also the plate of, this pink color plate is nothing but Indian plate, and it is present beneath the Eurasian plate. So here is somewhere you might find the raised Tibetan plateau. Yes, all the rivers today, they are present on Tibet. They are cutting across these mountain ranges and they are moving towards the south. So imagine, see, थोड़ा practically समझने के लिए कोशिश करते हैं and let's try to link it up with the current affairs. Recently, the government of India last year has given a plan to widen the road. Chardham Yatra, Gangotri, Yamunotri, Badrinath, Kedarnath. These are the places that the government wanted to go and connect a 4-lane road in the Himalayas. Now, Gangotri, Yamunotri, Badrinath, Kedarnath, where are they present? They are present in lesser Himalayas, some in the greater Himalayas. If I am widening the road, if suppose greater Himalayas are taking support on the lesser Himalayas are taking support on the Shivaliks, I have got an idea to mine the Shivaliks. Will it not create an impact on the greater Himalayas? Can I call this as a boundary? You might come across a place called main central boundary. Main central boundary. ऐसे अलग अलग नाम होता है. It is not required for GS also. But greater Himalayas are dependent on lesser Himalayas and lesser Himalayas are dependent on Shivaliks. They are taking a support of each other. You go and build a dam. You go and construct and mine something. In one Himalayas you do some activity, it will have an impact on the other Himalayas. Right? Disasters. यहाँ पे कुछ हुआ, impact यहाँ पर भी हो सकता है. Joshimath, it is exactly present somewhere here. Right? Between these two mountains. और जोशीमठ एक इतना स्वीट स्पॉट है ना, one or the other day it has to lower down itself. Nothing can stop. You cannot stop this mighty Himalayas from formation. Maybe you can slower it down. Anything that can happen in 60 years, you can make it happen in some 150 years. This is what you can delay. You may delay the process but not stop in the geography. So that delay process can be done. Sustainable activity need to be there. आप जाके एक 5-star होटल बनाते हो यहाँ पर, it has to fall, no? Yes, not sustainable. Here, go for cottage houses, tourism, eco-sustainable tourism बनाओ. In terms of earthquake, is my wooden house safe or that concrete 6-floor building safe? Wooden house safe. Why can't I go for wooden house constructions? Why should I go for 5-star hotels in the Greater Himalayas? Go to Shimla. Currently rainy season. So already you got to see one landslides. And in upcoming time, next week or so, there is good amount of rainfall. You will see another landslides. Developments are there in the lesser Himalayas. Your Shimla is present in this. ठीक है? Kedarnath, Badrinath, those mighty, they are present somewhere here. Gangotri, Yamunotri, they are present here. So in the name of God, what do? We create unsustainable, if not on the God, in the name of religious tourisms, we create unsustainable Himalayan ecosystem that can impact and hamper the day-to-day lifestyles of the people on the long run. Now imagine that you have widened the road. Vehicles ज़्यादा होगा कि नहीं? Vehicles population will increase. Next, number of vehicles increased. If the heavy vehicles are moving, don't you think the hills will vibrate? The minimal vibration will increase. Plus, soot, will it increase or not? Soot is nothing but the dust. If I have a snow here, if that snow goes and falls onto the snow, if the pollution goes and falls onto the snow, black soot, black particles, won't it melt faster? When it is melting faster, will it not melt the glacier? When the glacier melts, the glacier moves. When it moves, will it not move the rocks beneath? That means it's a series of disasters that you are creating in the name of widening the road. So that's why the Supreme Court said, band karo. Stop it, and the project has been taken back. In fact, the project is passed in the parliament and the parliament has to step back. Uttarakhand has all the Himalayas. Shivaliks bhi hai. There are disasters there in Himachal also, Uttarakhand also. ठीक है? Uttarakhand एक ऐसा area है. You go to Uttarakhand. Imagine this is Uttarakhand. In the Uttarakhand north, you have two set of mountains. On one side, you have Kumaon and Garhwal region. Right? So this is your Nepal. So Uttarakhand has one, Greater Himalayas. Uttarakhand also has Lesser Himalayas. Uttarakhand also has Shivaliks. Right? So when all the mountain ranges are there, obviously, where is Gangotri, Yamunotri, Kedarnath, Badrinath? Uttarakhand. Right? Now, when you have all of these things, tourism, population, Devbhumi, all of this, of course, disasters ज़्यादा होगा. And here you have glaciers. If a river is coming from the north, imagine this is a river. If glacier melting is taking place, will it not flood in the lower areas? This is what happens. Glacial lake outburst is happening in the Himalayas. Why are there floods in the Rishikesh? Because the water flow increased in the here. If climate change is happening, will you see a direct impact here? The direct impact can be seen here and here, but the most of the direct impact is on the Greater Himalayas. Right? Where did you construct Tehri Dam? Uttarakhand. Major projects, hydropower projects that you construct in Uttarakhand. Right? It's not that only Uttarakhand, all the Himalayan states that are there. But Himachal is a bit different. Himachal has deserts. Cold desert hai. Spiti Valley is there. The beauty of Himachal is that rainfall in Himachal is less as compared to Uttarakhand. Uttarakhand has more rainfall. Right? So, in totality, the states of Himachal, the states of Uttarakhand, they have more disasters as compared to other disasters. If suppose there is a disaster of glacial lake outburst, it will lead to flooding. Flooding will lead to, again, soil erosion, glacial movements. So there are a series of events that will take place. Yes? Now her point of view is that, sir, agar road construct nahi karte, वैसे भी people are moving, they have their own vehicles. What you need to do is, we have to go for Bhutan policy. No doubt, state's economy is very important and it should be there. State's economy should be on the priority. But sustainable development is something very important than as compared to the rest of the activities. See, if someone wants to visit Bhutan, first, every year they decide that these are the number of total tourists that Bhutan will be allowing. Right? They'll issue visas to them, they'll issue permits to them. And only those number of tourists they can come. If they are going to increase the total number of tourists, what do is, they increase the taxes. The problem is not with those people who are staying in Uttarakhand. It is about people who are coming from outside and creating, in the name of tourism, they are creating some disasters. Right? Of course, God is also important, religion is also important, aapka bhakti bhi important hai. Your relationship with the God is also important. But that can be sustainable in nature. It's not that you need to go and maybe do the destructive activity there. Tourism is also important. It's a very good, important activity for these two states. If not tourism, these states cannot survive much. But you see, tourism to the contribution of the state of Himachal. How many are there here from Himachal? What is the contribution of tourism to GDP in Himachal? Percentage? Guess. 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. How much percentage? 40 to 50. Yes? 6% है बस. It's not 60-50. It's just 6%. Right? Majority of the income that comes from is agriculture, horticulture. Right? So steps need to be taken on the tourism side also, horticulture side also. In the name of horticulture, what do is, they are digging the hills of the Himalayas and they are going for agriculture. Agriculture leads to soil erosion. So it is not just on the roads. That is just an example. Likewise, you go to Uttarakhand. Uttarakhand ke liye tourism is very high, not for Himachal Pradesh. Himachal Pradesh poor, it has only 3 circuits to go around. Yeah, you go to the Shimla, or you go to Rikongpyu, or then you go to the north, Spiti and all. That's it. But Uttarakhand has lot of tourism places. Right? So here the movement of traffic is very high. Maybe we can find out some few policies where we can limit the tourists, outsiders. Okay? And that to limited activity we have to do. Not if suppose you are coming in, you cannot stay beyond 6 days. You have to move away. Or else increase the cost of their tourism. अपने आप कम होगा. ठीक है? Entry tax लगाओ 6,000 rupees anyone who wants to enter in. अगर आप खुद का vehicle लेके आ रहे हो, you bring your own vehicle, charge 2,000 per day for the government. What do? They'll now utilize public transportation. And in the name of public transportation, you increase the total number of buses. Elderly population के लिए exemption दे दो. Above 60, give them exemption. Right? You can do anything you want. That is what is the government. So, कहीं ना कहीं sustainable की तरफ हमें जाना पड़ेगा. Right? Exploitations you need to come down. And populated tourism should come down. Look at Shimla. The total population of Shimla is less as compared to the total number of tourists. It is almost 15 times more than what the population of Shimla is. Today, the population of Shimla is 1.5 lakh. कौन सा ऐसा हिमालयन हिल स्टेशन है जो 1.5 लाख का पॉपुलेशन है? It will fall down as a cards in the coming years. So already every few years you will get to see some trailers, but one fine day it will show out a short scale movie. Then that is the day when we think of what should be done in the Himalayan ecosystem. So homework for you. Hill Area Development Program क्या है? Hill Area Development Program. What is this? And which ministry implements? And what is special category status? What is special category status? 7? 7 schedule? No, it is different. Basically, special category status is a different concept. Here, 90% of the total expenditure of these states are borne by the central government and 10% is borne by the state government. You said, sir, there's no economy for this particular states. अगर आपको road construct करना है, 90 rupees will be given by the center, and if you are from Uttarakhand, you have to spend 10 rupees from your pocket. Because see, Shaurya's question is that, sir, if a state like Telangana, it gives more money to the center in the form of tax, but it gets less. A state like Maharashtra gives more money and gets very less. So in totality, if suppose this money which is there, it is given to these states, don't you think that these states are not happy? Of course. Special category status say, Hamesha, there are few states, they are not happy, they are surplus states. Time up here? Okay. We'll stop here and we'll continue tomorrow. It is not just geography means जो NCERT में दिया है, not just reading that, you need to apply it to the day-to-day activities as well. Now, whenever you open up any article on the Himalayan ecosystem, just try to understand that Himalayan ecosystem articles. Right? I think now you got the idea of the formation of the Himalayas. Tibet, Karakoram, Ladakh, Zanskar, Greater Himalayas, Lesser Himalayas, Shivaliks. Tibet में भी है faults, ऐसा नहीं है, but continuously uplifted है. Erosion is taking place more there, lakes, rivers are too high there. बारिश ऐसा नहीं है, एक टाइम पे होता था बारिश. There used to be rainfall before. But Tibet is a plateau more or less. It's a hard landform. Whatever is the loose landform that got eroded. In tomorrow's class we'll discuss human speciation, though it is not part here. It is part of anthropology. Human speciation in the oldest human species that we are aware of is only 10 to 20,000 years before. Take Neanderthals, Ramapithecus, take Australopithecus. These are the humans which used to have bent human-like structures that were there. That means we are not more than 20-30 years old. So if we have evolved so much in the last 20-30,000 years, what shall we do in the next 100,000 years? Okay, we'll stop and we'll continue in the further class. Coastal states